You have thousands of dollars of business advice sitting on your computer right now, and you're not using it. That email marketing course you bought but never finished? How about the PDFs that you gave your email for? How about those screenshots you keep meaning to do something with? Well, watch what happens when I stop letting that pile of stuff collect dust. So, this is me right now asking my AI business coach that I created with those exact resources to help me rewrite my welcome email sequence. I need to write a welcome email sequence for people who download my freebie. What do the sources say about the structure of that campaign? How many emails? How frequently? What topics? So the answer that it's showing you right now, it came entirely from stuff I already had on my hard drive. I did not Google anything. I didn't prompt ChatGPT. I asked my own knowledge base that was built from my own digital graveyard. So this is Notebook LM. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn your pile of half-finished courses into an AI business coach that can give you the exact advice and insights you need exactly when you need them. I'm Laura, and about 2 years ago, I was at a networking event and I heard someone call herself a course hoarder. And I looked around the group I was standing with, and about half the women were going, Now, I'm not a course hoarder, but I'm a screenshot saver. So it's the same problem, but a different format. And I could not figure out how to get those screenshots that were sparking ideas for me into something that I could actually use in my business. How do I turn that into action? And I found my answer with Google's Notebook LM. If you haven't heard about this tool, the 10-second overview is that you upload your resources into it, and then you can ask any question you want. What I'm going to show you today is a way to load it up with all that business advice that you've been meaning to read or listen to, and then make that content actionable for you and relevant to whatever your business priority is right now. So the way you get to it is you Google Notebook LM. This is part of Google's Cloud's tools like Gmail or Google Drive, and you can use it with a personal account or a workspace account. It doesn't matter. So upfront, I mentioned I'm a screenshot saver. It gets so bad that I actually made a Claude tool that sweeps my desktop every week for screenshots and then sorts them into folders. So I have some sort of organization. This one is called Ideas for Action. So what I want to do is move all of these into a notebook, and let's just see what I've been saving over the last few weeks. So I create a new notebook and I just drag and drop what I want to go in there. And it's going to take a few minutes for it to sort of learn everything that's in there. Now, this notebook is done populating, and I always like to start by finding out exactly what I've got. And I think one of the best ways to explore that is with a mind map. So, what you want to do is make sure that all the boxes are checked, right? Select all, and then you hit this button over here, Mind Map, and it's going to generate for a few minutes. So now it's ready, and we just click down here, and now we have a map of all of the sources that I put in there. So we can look here. I have some resources on Claude Setup. So we look there, and it's going to show the different topics, and it will actually get down to the actual source files. I've got stuff here about marketing and content systems, right? And so this is a really good way to discover everything that's been hiding out on your drive right down to the file level. And then when I click on one of these, if I want more information, for instance, on let's just say pre-market activities, I can click on that and then it's actually going to recommend a prompt for what I might want to ask about. So in addition to using the mind map, here's another great question to ask. In one or two sentences, how can you help me use these sources? So now that you've set up your coach and you know what resources are in there because you made the mind map, well, it's time to start using it. So you already saw at the beginning how I asked it to tell me how to make a welcome email sequence, right? That's kind of a shallow question. But what if you took a course on how to start a podcast? That's a lot of different elements that have to be stacked together. So instead of being overwhelmed with all that information at once, you could ask it questions in a way that would actually help you start a podcast. Like you could ask it, I'd like to get my podcast up and running in 6 weeks. Please create a timeline for me. Or you could ask it, what equipment do you need? Because I'm sure there was probably a module on that, right? And then once you had your studio set up, you could ask it how to find guests. So you can see that sort of by taking in a chunk of information at a time, that's going to be a lot easier to digest and take action on than having all of that to go through at once. So the main watch out here is that the answers you get are only as good as your sources. So if you uploaded a 2019 PDF on email marketing and it confidently tells you that you need to use Facebook ads as your main lead channel, that is not NotebookLM being wrong. That's your source being outdated. So garbage in, garbage out still applies. So when you're reading the answers, I want you to ask yourself, do I actually trust these sources on these topics? But the great thing is NotebookLM is going to tell you where it got its answer. It's going to actually cite the source it came from. And so if you get anything that feels a little off to you, go to that source and actually check it out. Why am I telling you to create your AI coach in NotebookLM and not just use Claude projects or custom GPT? Well, Claude Projects is great when you want to create new content or you're trying to think through complex ideas. But Notebook LM is amazing when you want to learn from and reuse what you already have. And it takes in more types of sources like YouTube videos and audio files and copy pasted text and Google Sheets and those HEI images from your iPhone, right? Most tools can't do anything with those. And it stays strictly inside your documents unless you tell it to go to the web. And it shows you where the answers came from. So here's your next steps. Go look on your drive for PDFs and course materials and your YouTube watch list. Load them up and see what you've got there. See what you've been meaning to think about. See what you've been meaning to take action on. And then the next time you need advice or a template, go see if you've already got one. Now, I will add, because it runs on Gemini, it's actually going to offer to do things for you. Like when I asked it to give me the structure for that welcome email sequence, it then offered to write the emails. You can do that, but I don't think it's the best tool for that. What I do is use Notebook to extract the information I want, and then I switch back to Claude for the implementation. Oh, and if you're still using ChatGPT and you're wondering why I keep recommending Claude, this is the video you're going to want to watch next.